Hello and welcome to the Administrator's Guide to Classroom Reports in Learning A to Z. We'll start with a question. Why use classroom reports at all? As principals, you may be wondering, are my students getting the daily reading practice that they need? How often are they reading? Are they showing progress? You may also be wondering about, are they showing specific strengths and weaknesses in particular comprehension skills? Teacher support. Do teachers need more support in using the programs effectively and use in planning instruction? You can use your classroom reports to answer all of these questions. This is what you'll need to do to get started in accessing your reports. First, log in to www.learningatozee.com. Use the username and password that was emailed to you from Learning A to Z. Once you logged in, click on Raz-Kids.com. This will take you to the page where you will access your reports. Once you've opened the web page for Raz-Kids.com, you'll see a menu bar at the top that looks like this. Hover over the tab for District Reports and click on School Activity. The next page that opens will show you your school name and allow you to make a report for your particular school. In this case, it's Hope Valley Elementary. The first thing to do is to select the date ranges for the report. You can do this by using the drop-down menu. You may select from 7, 30, 60, 90 days, or customize a report based on your needs. As you scroll down the page, you'll notice that there are 3 tabs: the General, the Raz-Kids, and the Head Sprout. These are the tabs where you can pull different types of reports. Head Sprout is a new early foundations reading program that's being piloted in 4 schools. However, all the EC self-contained classrooms do have access to this product this year. On the left side of the page, you'll notice that there are active classes and inactive classes represented by teachers' names. Looking at the General page, the General tab, you can see how many students are enrolled in a class, how many students are currently actively using the program, how many logins there have been, and how many minutes students in a classroom have been logged in. The stars, the spaceships, and the robots all indicate points that students have earned and how they can use their time in building spaceships and building robots as incentives. From the General tab, if you click on Raz-Kids tab, a new window will open and you can see that the information now is different. You can still see active and inactive classes, but now you can notice how many students are listening to stories within a classroom, how many are actually reading stories, how many quizzes have been taken in a particular classroom, and how many times students are getting fluency practice by recording their reading. All of this is available inside Raz-Kids. In addition, you can notice how many Raz-Kid levels have been completed. This is a good indicator that students are moving up in their ability to go from one level of text to another. From the Raz-Kids tab, if you click on the name of an individual teacher, it will open in a new window. Here you'll see 2 tabs, the Overview and the Raz-Kids. On the Overview page, you'll be able to see the top and bottom comprehension skills of the students who have read and taken quizzes in this classroom. Remember, this data is only based on those children who have actually read and taken quizzes, so it may not be the entire class. You'll see students' names, how many times they've logged in, and how much time they've been using the programs. You'll also be able to see how much time they're spending building robots and spaceships in the incentive time. Clicking on the Raz-Kid tabs opens a new window. From here you'll see the students' names and you'll be able to identify how many stories they've listened to, read, how many quizzes they've taken, and how many practice sessions they've had with recording their reading for fluency. The current assignments show you the current text level students are using inside the program and the assignment progress that they're making towards getting out of one level and moving to the next. By scrolling back to the top of the page, you'll be able to change the type of report you can see by clicking on Skill Report. Once a new window opens, you'll notice that you can select from comprehension skills or any of the 6 grade levels of the Common Core standards. We'll start with the comprehension skills report. By selecting the comprehension skill report, you'll get a report showing the basic comprehension skills that students are asked to use as they answer the questions in the quizzes based on particular books. Remember that this data is based on only the students who have read books and taken quizzes, and it may not be the entire class. By clicking on any one of the individual comprehension skills, you'll be able to take a deeper look at who has answered questions regarding that skill and how each student is doing. We can switch our report now to look at the Common Core State Standards. By selecting all of the grade levels, you'll be able to see how students who read on a variety of text levels are doing based on each of the standards from K through 5. Once the report opens, you'll notice that you see all the standards that apply for K through 5. Here I notice that I'm just looking only at grades K and 2, although there are additional reports that I can scroll to below. I can click on any of the blue links for a standard to take a deeper look at who is answering questions based on this standard and how they're doing. For example, I noticed that standard RI 1.4 is a deficit skill for some of the students in that classroom. By clicking on the blue link for that standard, it brings me to a new page showing which students have responded to questions that pertain to that standard, and then I can look at the accuracy rate for each of the students. To take a different look at what students are doing within classrooms, I can scroll back up to the top of the page and click on the Overview tab. By clicking on the name of any individual student, a new window opens. From here I can see their assigned reading levels and the last 5 activities the students worked on. I'm noticing that they're assigned a reading level of U. However, they're spending a lot of time reading those AA reading books. This is an indicator that the teacher may need to narrow the window of what students can read. By scrolling back up to the top of the page and clicking on Raz-Kids, I can go into the individual student's report and see which books they've read, which quizzes they've taken, and any skills that have been identified for the students as being weak. Here we can see that the student has answered 9 out of 10 questions appropriately on one quiz, and that vocabulary was the identified skill that the student needs to work on. The administrator's time in preparing reports is always a factor. However, if you answer your basic questions, how much time are my students spending reading, and are they making progress? In what comprehension skills are my students showing success, and where are their areas of need? When thinking about teacher support, do they still need support in using the program effectively, and can I help them to use these reports to prepare instruction? As an administrator, knowing the different types of the report and being able to go to the individual student level is important. You'll want to help your teachers know how to build their own reports and use them effectively when preparing instruction for individual students. We thank you for joining this session, and we hope that if you have questions, you'll contact elizabeth.bots@dpsnc.net. Thank you.